Your 24-hour news source, because so much can happen in an hour.
First in the Carolinas, the commitment to news excellence and innovation. This is WBTV Charlotte. Bob Inman, Sarah James, Paul Cameron, and Mike McKay. All tonight on WBTV News, The Night Report.
Good evening. We will know by mid-afternoon tomorrow whether professional baseball...
From WBTV Charlotte, Bob Inman, Sarah James, Paul Cameron, and the area's most experienced weathercaster, Mike McKay. The team that's on your side. This is WBTV News.
You're watching WBTV News Channel 3, making a difference for the Carolinas. Bob Inman, Lisa Cooley, Eric Thomas's custom forecast, and Paul Cameron's sports. This is WBTV News at 5.
For the 5th time in a month, fast food workers in Charlotte get the scare of their lives. Welcome to the News at 5.
Next on WBTV News at 5, measuring school success by the numbers, how area districts did on the SATs. And Windows 95 taking it home after all the hype.
From WBTV Charlotte, Bob Inman, Denise Dorey, meteorologist Eric Thomas, and Paul Cameron Sports. This is WBTV News Channel 3 at 5.
School districts in the Carolinas measure their success as the new SAT scores are announced. Welcome to the News at 5. I'm Michael Marsh. Bob's off tonight.
From WBTV Charlotte, when you need news, this is WBTV News Channel 3 at 11.
Good evening. A Gaston County Corrections officer shoots and wounds an escaping inmate.
That's our first story this Wednesday night.
From Charlotte and across the Carolinas, this is WBTV News 3 at 11.
Another night of wondering what will happen next for Sharika Adams' family and the man police say killed her as we await a verdict in the Ray Caruth murder trial. It's First at 11. Good evening. I'm Paul Cameron.
And I'm Denise Story. Of all the players in the Ray Caruth murder trial,
It's 5:30. Time for news. Tanya Bendixson and Jamie Ball are live in our Center City studios in Founders Hall.
WBTV News 3 starts now.
Opening arguments are underway right now in this man's trial.
WBTV News 3 starts now.
Scorching heat, it is the hot topic, and it's created problems with local lakes.
Officials say those waters needed to cool us down are not doing a good job, and fires are keeping firefighters busy in this record heat wave.
Now, WBTV News 3 Primetime.
Wachovia sold to Citigroup, the latest casualty of the economic crisis.
One Charlotte-based bank is crumbling, the other holding its own in these tough economic times. A tale of two banks.
Where's the gas? WBTV on your side asking why pumps are still dry after the weekend's large shipment. A rough ride for some local elementary students, what landed their bus down this embankment.
On your side, the 7 o'clock solution. WBTV News 3 Primetime.
Good evening, I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Thanks for being here on this Monday. The banking landscape of Charlotte takes a drastic turn today, whether or not...
3 starts now.
All new at noon, the West Charlotte Athletic Director is returning to his job. He's been on suspension during a player eligibility investigation in Charlotte, Mecklenburg schools, and that story is first at noon.
First at 5:30, running on empty. Gas stations going dry, not only here in the Queen City, but all around our area. WBTV on your side to help you find fuel.
The bailouts break down. The $700 billion plan to fix the economy. A tough sell on Capitol Hill. So what could happen if it doesn't pass?
And a consumer alert tonight. Doggy danger. Local vets with a deadly serious warning for pet owners. How to protect your pooch from a growing problem.
WBTV News 3 starts now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tanya Bendixson.
And I'm Jamie Bull. We got more on the economy, more on the gas crisis in a moment.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News starts right now.
It is opening night for legal drag racing. Regular folks with a need for speed getting their kicks.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News starts now, first at 4.
And a good Wednesday afternoon to you. I'm Jamie Bull.
And I'm Brigida Mack. Thanks so much for being here.
WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 5 starts right now.
How did this Charlotte teenager get past checkpoints and onto a U.S. Airways plane bound for Boston? Tonight, a congressman demanding answers from the TSA about a major security breach. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Paul Cameron.
And I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Nice to have you with us on this Friday.
WBTV News at 5:30 starts right now.
A South Charlotte Goodwill store destroyed by arson last month says it plans to rebuild.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 6 starts right now.
Some strong storms moving toward Charlotte at this hour. We're tracking them on powered Doppler radar. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Lots of news. I'm Paul Cameron.
And I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Lightning, heavy rain, and some powerful winds.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News Prime Time starts right now. This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 11 starts right now. This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV on your side with breaking news now.
In fact, we are on two breaking stories. First at 4, a SWAT situation happening in northeast Charlotte. A man shot and police are searching for the suspect.
Plus a major backup on I-77 southbound after a car and truck collide. The interstate just...
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. WBTV News at noon starts right now. This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. WBTV News at 6 starts right now.
Good evening. I'm Dedrick Russell. Paul and Maureen are off tonight. Lexi Hooper died when the car she was riding in crossed the center line on Highway 74 in Wadesboro.
New at 11.
Flash flood warning.
Line after line of heavy showers moving through. Now local creeks are rising fast.
And I'm tracking more heavy rain headed our way from Tropical Storm Andrea.
A presidential visit.
Hello, Mooresville.
Children who stood just feet away tell us what it was like to meet the president.
Shoplifter shooting.
A bystander opens fire when a man robs this Belk store.
I mean, this is not the Wild Wild West.
Why that quick-thinking shopper is now the one facing charges.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. WBTV News at 11 starts right now.
Waves of heavy rain moving from the south to the north across the Carolinas tonight. Powered Doppler radar shows we are under a flash flood warning until 1 a.m. And it is all part of Tropical Storm Andrea. Good evening and welcome. I'm Molly Grant.
I'm Paul Cameron. Welcome.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. WBTV News starts right now.
Right now, a system of storms is moving close to the Charlotte area. We're tracking when the rain could reach your neighborhood. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sarah Blake Morgan in for Sharon Smith.
WBTV News Sunday morning starts right now.
This broadcast is sponsored by Subaru South Boulevard and Subaru Concord. WBTV on your side. WBTV News starts right now.
All righty, hope you're having a great start to your Sunday morning. I'm Brody O'Connell.
And I'm meteorologist Al Conklin in for Lindsay DePastis.
WBTV on your side. WBTV News starts right now with breaking news.
And we're following breaking news out of Charleston, South Carolina.
A press conference just started moments ago talking about the shooting at the historic church in Charleston where 9 people were killed. Let's listen in.
This broadcast is sponsored by Subaru South Boulevard and Subaru Concord. WBTV on your side. WBTV News starts right now.
Now on primetime, accused Charleston church shooter Dylan Roof could face the death penalty. Today, why prosecutors say they will go after the harshest punishment for the crime. Plus, his Marine Ball invitation went viral tonight. We're hearing from the Marine who will take Ronda Rousey to the ball. But first on Primetime, what we have just learned about a Lincoln County crash that killed a grandmother, including what troopers say the other driver might have been doing at the time of the crash. Good evening, I'm Maureen O'Boyle. It's nice to have you with us.
This is WBTV News on your side. WBTV News starts right now with breaking news.
We're following several breaking news situations right now. Two of them you are seeing here.
This broadcast is sponsored in part by Hendrick Automotive Group. Live from Charlotte, this is WBTV News on your side.
Now at 11 o'clock, what will be the fate of the Panthers franchise? We've got team coverage for you on the fallout from sexual and racial allegations against the team's owner, Jerry Richardson. Plus,
there are plenty of areas in the city that could use this project. It's not South Charlotte, and it's not the Arboretum.
the Charlotte leaders approve a rezoning plan that has neighbors upset. Why one council member says this affects everyone. But first, some roads closed right now after a deadly crash near the airport.
This broadcast is sponsored in part by Hendrick Automotive Group. Live from Charlotte, this is WBTV News on your side.
Now at 4:30, the District 9 special election is almost here, and candidates are doing everything in their power to make sure voters turn out this Tuesday. And Dorian may be gone, but the storm's impact is still felt in the Carolinas. One mother now homeless along with her 7 children. Plus, issues with ticketing continue into week 1 for Panthers fans. Some fans say there were issues getting into the stadium. We'll look at that, but first we thank you for joining us this morning.
This broadcast is sponsored in part by Hendrick Automotive Group. Live from Charlotte, this is WBTV News on your side.
Our Christine Spiro is going one-on-one with President Trump tonight. What he says about South Carolina's Mark Sanford jumping in to challenge him in the primary, the president's comments on our local election tomorrow between 2 Dans, and what he calls excitement about coming to Charlotte for the RNC.
The WBTV News Weekend Team. First in the Carolinas.